the roof was caved in and there was no windows or doors or nothing.
So this is a sauna?
Yes.
This might be the coolest sauna I've ever seen.
This was a log splitter I built. A bunch of fish heads spearing northern pike in the wintertime.
Your brother drove over the top?
Drove over the top of the camp one year. She said, if you just come and clean up the mess and take it all out of here, you can have it.
Rockhopper here, and I'm here in Michigan with Tom, and he's going to tell us how he restored this cabin that was basically crumbling into the earth. So Tom, tell us everything you did with this, and how you found it, what all you did.
This was on Craigslist when COVID hit, and the lady that owned it, the roof was caved in and there was no windows or doors or nothing, and the logs were all falling apart and the whole works was about to just hit the ground. And she said, if you just come and clean up the mess and take it all out of here, you can have it. So I went and checked it out and beat on the logs, and they're all cedar logs, and the core was still pretty solid. So I said, heck, this thing is probably still usable, So I took and I cleaned up the mess, told the lady I would take it. I went to the dollar store trying to figure out a way to mark all them logs, looking for like bingo chips or something. And eventually I come across some playing cards, and I thought, wow, them will work pretty good. So I just took a deck of cards and I made a whole wall of hearts and spades and clubs and diamonds, and just started at the floor with the ace, 2, 3, all the way on up. And then if there was a window, then I just ripped the card in half, and the 7 of hearts and the 7 of hearts, and like in this situation where you got a door and a window where you got 3 logs, I bought 2 decks of cards so I could have a 7 of hearts, 7 of hearts, and a 7 of hearts. And then I just nailed them to the inside wall. They're all wax coated, so if the logs were in the weather for a little while, it worked out really good for putting it back together. And when I'd grab a piece of log, you knew exactly where it went, just by the card that was nailed to it. I just started putting it all right back together, just like I tore it apart. Then when I got it completely up, the walls were so fragile that I was afraid the whole thing was going to just fall over. So I took and put a row of telephone poles all the way around horizontal on top of it, and run a couple out to the front and put this porch on it. And then I put these poles in the ground, and that just sturdied everything up. Once I got it secured, I put a new roof on it, made it look old with some of the old lumber that was laying around and some old sheeting that I had. But then for the chinking, I went to Menards. I got some stuff that was made by Pro Spec, and it was called bonding cement. You're supposed to be able to stack cement blocks up dry and then just smear this stuff over the face of them, and it's got fiber in it and it'll hold them block together. So I thought, well, hell, that'll probably work good on this. I pounded about 1 million nails in there just for something for that bonding cement to grab onto, and just pounded them in between all the logs for the chinking to grab, and just went to chinking it. And the stuff works pretty good, and it's been 4 years now, and there's a couple little hairline cracks, but it's held up really good. And it was a lot easier than like mortar and some of the old-fashioned with the wood fiber plaster, and a lot cheaper than permachink or something like that.
So all told, by the time you completed this, how much had you invested in the materials to get this place to where it is today?
Oh, I think that bonding cement is like about $25 a bag now. And I don't know, I probably went through 15 bags of it. And then I bought a couple of cheap, maybe $30 or $40 windows there that I stuck in there, and a bunch of nails and screws, and that's about it. We got a sawmill, so I cut all the lumber for the roof, and then got some old sheeting, rubber roofing, and some of that, ice guard. I put ice guard all the way over the whole thing, and then rubber roofing, and then just some old metal roofing on there to make it look old. But yeah, I got less than $1,000 into it.
Wow, that's a great deal. And you saved this thing from, it was just literally deteriorating. It was crumbling into the earth, essentially, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's just...
it would have made a good bonfire, was about it, But yeah, the logs were all painted on the inside, and there was carpet nailed to the logs, and I just ripped everything off and sanded them all before I put it back together. put it back up, clean it up, and come out pretty nice.
And you added a little bit of height with the telephone poles, is that right?
I added about another, I don't know, maybe 8-10 inches with the telephone poles, and then I added a loft over the back part of it, so you got some sleeping space. But yeah, it was just, I don't know if it was like some type of a barn or something they used it for. It might have been a family homestead back in the day, but through the years it got converted into just something for animals or chickens or something they used it for.
Would you say it's roughly from the early 1900s?
Yeah, yeah, the lady that had it in 2020, she said that her house was over 100 years old, and this cabin was there on the property before her house was built. So yeah, it was in the early 1900s.
So this place had no doors and no windows, and you had to move all the logs to its current location. Yeah, let's have a look inside. Check it out.
Check it out.
All right, tell me, wow, it looks like you've done a lot of work in here. This looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable in the wintertime. It's nice when you get a fire going in here and you got a big snowstorm and it's, you know, toasty warm with the wood burner going and a pot of coffee sitting on the stove. Yeah, here inside here you can see where this is where the extra log is. That's actually a telephone pole, that top one. Then I put the roof on it. We got a sawmill, so I cut my own lumber and some nice big wide boards that look like shit from 100 years ago. I made a little loft that goes upstairs. It's kind of a steep ladder that you can, not really a stairway, better than a straight up and down ladder.
Well, I'll just show everybody what's up here. So we're coming up into the loft here, and it's a nice cozy little loft indeed. This is what it looks like when you're looking down from the loft.
Yeah, I put that chicken wire up there. I didn't realize it, but my wife said, better watch out, somebody kicks the blankets off and they land on the wood stove, you burn the place down, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's what that chicken wire is up there for. I made the little railing first and then I added that, so. It get hot at night, kick the blankets off.
And I bet it's nice and warm up here in the winter.
Yeah, I got gas lights there, 2 or 3 of them in here, and a little propane stove, so you can cook with that if you want to.
So this is completely off-grid, is that right?
Yeah, there's no power or anything on there.
No power, so you just use the...
You got propane and the wood stove, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And there's no running water here.
Nope, nope.
So you just haul in your own water if you need some water.
Yep.
You got a little bunk up there.
Little bunk up there, and then the couch, you can sleep on that, so you can, a couple of people could sleep down here and a couple upstairs. And got a little vent up here for if you got a fire going and it's too hot, want to let some air heat out, or just we leave it open in the summertime. That just works off a cable there.
Cool.
That's about it.
So it's a pretty simple and cozy little place. I'll just give you a walk through here and give you a little more to see about this place. You got the little windows right here.
Yeah, the window's all open there. There's just a little latch on them. Nothing fancy. Just then I got a screen out there, so.
Yeah, that's good to have because the mosquitoes here can be fierce, especially in spring, right?
Yeah, I would have put better windows in, but they wouldn't have quite looked, you know, 100 years old like the rest of the shack.
So you're keeping it pretty authentic, which is good. And that's your source of light right there. And this came from a mining area? Is that?
It came from National Mine outside of Ishpeming, Michigan. And Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. It was, I think it was like a family homestead or something in the early days, and then it got used for animals, and then it just deteriorated, and kids that got in here and used it as a play fort and painted all the walls and, you know, nailed carpeting to it and stuff. But you can see like this back wall here. You see the paint down there still? That's where I went over it with a big 7-inch sander and sanded it all off, and you still got some of the paint stuck in there. But
So that took a bit of time, I would imagine, sanding all that.
yeah, it kept me busy for a couple of weeks, putting it back together, cleaning them up and everything.
So how long did it take from taking it to its original state, which was just a bunch of deteriorating logs, to full completion the way it is today? How long, what time span for that?
It was probably 2 or 3 months maybe. Yeah, it was during COVID. I couldn't do nothing else, so I was down here every day.
So this was your COVID
this is
hobby.
my COVID project. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice little project. And we get, you know, it's nice to have it here. We could use it a lot.
Do you use it much these days?
Yeah, especially in the wintertime. You know, the fall and winter.
Because you've got all the wood. Yeah, it's great insulation, right?
Yeah, it stays fairly cool in here even when it's hot outside. And then when the wintertime, I mean, you light a little fire in the stove and it's toasty warm. That's why you got the windows up there to let somebody heat out.
Because it actually gets too
It
warm.
gets too warm sometimes, yeah. Yeah, you could live comfortably here.
So the stuff at the base of the wood stove, that's also the bonding cement?
Yes, that's the surface bonding cement by Pro Spec. It's, say, you can get it at Menards, 20-25 bucks a bag, and you just mix it with water. The coat hangers, these are something that was a big hit for everybody. Seems to think they're really awesome, and it's I don't know, 99-cent bicycle hook from Menards and just a little cedar branch. Drill it and screw that in there, and I don't know, kind of cheesy little junk, but people love them.
Well, it looks like it's a fun little way to make hangers. Yeah, it really fits with the character of the place.
I think the door came from the Habitat store. Yeah, just old junk added to it, you know.
So this is the sink over here.
That's the kitchen sink. Metal decking that I put on the roof, and it kind of sat in somebody's yard until the point where that was just about rotten too. And I put it up there just to hold the rubber roofing and stuff down, and it looks about as old as the cabin is. You know, can't buy stuff like that at Menards. So, out of an old convection oven out of the Wallstrom's restaurant in Harvey.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just cut out where the gas burners were. Got a little spot where you can light a fire in there.
So this is your smoker.
I just
Your
burned
cooker.
a bunch of holes in the bottom of it and let the smoke come up through it. Works really good for cooking pizzas out here.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
And it's on wheels so you can move it around. Open the door if you want a little more draft. Close it if you don't want it.
Now, who doesn't think that is like the coolest cooker ever?
This is an old Dodge fire truck. I think it was the late 40s or early 50s was the year of it. I got, I don't know, somewhere around the same time as I started scrounging up some logs for that. I took and ripped the water tank and pump out of it and just put it on blocks, and I made a sauna out of it. I'll show you.
So this is a sauna?
Yes.
Wow.
Here's the wood storage. The cab makes a good woodshed then.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool little woodshed right here in the truck. You can see the old speedometer up there.
There's the wood stove.
Okay, so you throw your wood right in there.
Throw it in right there. And this is the sauna. Stand up here and check it out.
So how many people can you get in here? 2 people?
It's made just for one.
The sauna built for one?
Yep, one person sauna. You go in there and check it out. Here. I don't know if you can see it here, but here's the water pan. Here's the fire right, or the wood stove right back there, the sauna stove with the rocks. And you got a little bench right here, big enough for one person, and you can light it and heat it up in a matter of about 15 minutes. It heats up quick. I got the curtain that closes between the sauna and the changing room. I got the curtain rod that comes right in the middle of the window, and then the lantern hanging outside. So that way when you close the curtain, if you got the lantern, if it's dark out, you're still getting light in the sauna. Because it's too hot in there for any kind of a gas light or a lantern. But put it outside the window and have part of the window shining into the sauna. Finlanders, when they get a piece of property, that was the first thing they built was a sauna. You know, get the sauna going and get that done, and then you can go work on building a house and a garage and a barn and everything else. But the sauna was the first thing you built.
So if you're a Finn, first thing you got to do is build that sauna,
Right,
and then you build the house.
You go build your sauna, and then figure out whatever else you want to build after that. So that's priority.
Well, at least the Finns have their priorities in the right place, right?
Right. Here is where there's the water pump.
Okay, so you've got a hand pump for water for the sauna.
You just pump it up here and carry the buckets into the sauna.
And there you go.
And there you go. You're ready to take a bath.
This might be the coolest sauna I've ever seen.
This was a log splitter I built. Okay?
Yeah.
I seen it on, I don't know if it was on YouTube or something. Some guy had one, and he had a little shelf welded right here with some coil springs off of a car, and that would push up on this boom and raise your weight up and down. And I tried about 20 different springs, and I couldn't get it to work. And finally I made it where it's supposed a little bit past, and I got 2 garage door springs back there. You can see them in the back.
There's those springs back here.
And that's what raises this up. And then you can, I got a turnbuckle on there, you just adjust it to the height you want. This is a solid shaft, 3-inch, and there's 2 split maw heads here, so this whole block weighs about 30 pounds. And then you just pick it up.
So this is how you make your kindling?
Yeah, you got that about 30 pounds of weight coming down. Works a little better than just a regular splitting maul, and then you don't have to lift the thing up. The springs take it back up for you. Makes it pretty simple for splitting some wood. It doesn't work on the hard stuff, but if you've got easy splitting stuff and you want to make some kindling, it looks pretty slick.
Your brother drove over the top?
Drove over the top of the camp one year. We had a bunch of snow, and he went right up over the camp on a snowmobile, and he hit the skylight with the ski and kind of broke the skylight. There were a bunch of fish heads spearing northern pike in the wintertime, and I took and my wife got some type of little plastic lights that just little round balls, and you pull a tab off and they'd light for like about 3 weeks. So I glued them into these heads of all them fish and told everybody guaranteed you'll see northern lights tonight. So there they are, northern lights are out.
And there's the northern lights sign. So all these little eyeballs, those are the little lights that he pulled out and lit up in a bunch of pike fish heads. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the cabin with Tom here and learning a few things about maybe how to restore something yourself. Don't forget to give me a like on the video, share, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Rockhopper. I'll see ya.